Hi guys, this is Magnus here, and today I'll be talking to you about what I did for my Texting While Driving public service announcement for Imagine contest. Um, Here's my first shot. It is just me walking up to my truck and getting in. As you can tell in the background, it is definitely overexposed, so if I was to film this again, I would wait until the sun had set lower because I'm getting some ghosting in the face area. I did do some color correction, but it wasn't enough to drastically change it. And I would probably change my depth of field. It's pretty shallow right now, so I'd definitely widen it so the background and foreground was in focus. It didn't quite turn out the way I wanted, so I'd turn up the aperture, just let a little less slide in, but so your depth of field isn't as much. My next scene, getting into the truck, this turned out really well. The lighting was pretty great, and I didn't have to do any color correction, and that was a pretty simple shot. This upcoming shot here is of me starting my truck. And because I was filming alone that day, I had to just set my camera and on, like, I think it was my hoodie to face it up. And it definitely is shaky, so if I was going to do that again, I'd either have someone hold it or somehow stabilize it. This is me just starting it, and this next shot right here, as you can see, is just me driving, and I would put that on a tripod. It's definitely shaky and probably mic it a little bit differently because there's some wind noise and some just crackly sounds. So I did turn down the volume on the clip itself. It did help, but it wasn't a whole lot. My next shot is right here of me, just some scenes of me texting while driving. You can hear some dramatic music in the background. This first shot right here, I had Augie lay on my hood and film me while I was driving a little bit. And then you can see there's different layers of audio clips, and I had to stack them to align them because each individual audio clip wasn't long enough to fill each scene, so I layered them like you do in GarageBand or similar applications of that type, so you can kind of let them play through and transition into each other, as you can tell right there. The most difficult scene I had was when it came to the video cloning, as you can see here. And when you film this, you make sure that you put it on a tripod so the shot does not move, otherwise this effect will not work. As you can see, I've stacked both clips here, and what you do is you go to control click, you go to show video animation, and you'll see a little bar pop up that says compositioning opacity. So just double click on that, and you can see it says 52%. So when your clip is first imported, it'll be at 100%. As you can see up here, that there is only one of me, and that is because it is a solid background and video shot, so you will not see what is happening in the background or the foreground, depending on what order you film this. So you want to drag this down until you see both, and then you crop your shot over so it makes a dividing line, and then right about here. That way, when you turn the opacity all the way back up, it renders it together so you'll see both. And the way I'd positioned this, it was a last minute shot, so I didn't have enough time as I would have needed to position it so it wouldn't have run together. So that is why I had to turn down the opacity to about, I was running, I think mid 50%. So you can see both, and it doesn't blend, like it goes through so it runs together. And that did not work out the way I'd wanted, but I would definitely set the shot up differently if I do this next time. And after you've done that, just click out of your video animation and go back down, and then you can align the other video clip and adjust the opacity, and then move it over for the audio to make sure that it's timed right. So when your one self is interacting with the other, each person, once they have said something, you can move it over or split the clip to allow like a time between when they are saying something. And when you clone something, and this can even happen in Photoshop, but in Final Cut, when you film 2 shots and when you crop it, there is a line of light change. So when I first attempted to film this outside, I was running into like shadow differences. So I moved inside, and I didn't have these issues near as much. You can still see a difference, but if I was going to film something that I'd clone outside, I'd definitely bring external lighting to make sure I could balance out those shadows and still keep them the same. And then here are my ending credits, and I just added a text box and just said, LOL, is it really that funny? And then my ending credits. Thanks for watching.